Welcome back to another review, and in this one we're checking out the Audi Q2 Urban Edition. A stepping stone into the SUV world of Audi. It's small, you've got good ground clearance, it looks pretty good, but it's in a very, very, very competitive segment. And with what the Chinese are doing now, if this Q2 doesn't offer a lot for the price you're paying for it, then I think that it's going to be in serious trouble. Now, speaking of that, this Q2 Urban Edition sells from 740,000 Rand. Yeah, take that in. 740,000 Rand. Now, the reason I bring that up is because some of the things inside here make me question that pricing a lot. Now, there's a few cool things inside here. Like the Urban Edition, you get the digital cockpit that you get in most of the newer Audis, which is really, really nice. It also gets panoramic sunroof, it gets 18-inch wheels, you get the park assist package, which is just the sensors and all of that. But from a coolness point of view and attractiveness, that's really where it ends, and they aren't the most attractive features either. So you're spending 740,000 Rand. And you aren't getting electric seats with memory. You aren't getting a touchscreen infotainment, although you do have a digital infotainment with color and all that. It's not touchscreen, so you have to navigate everything through the little dial down here at the bottom. You aren't getting any cameras at all, so no reverse camera, no 360 camera or anything like that. You're just getting park sensors for 740,000 Rand. So yeah, there's a lot. Hold on, one more thing. The thing that starts the car, the key. I don't know how I could have forgot that. The key. And it's an actual physical key that you flip out, like you get inside of a Polo and other cars in the VW group. That's what you get when you spend 740,000 Rand on an Audi. A key that you have to put in and turn. It doesn't even have keyless entry. The doors even show that other models somewhere in the world have got it, because they've got the little markings on the door that show that if you touch it, the doors lock. We don't have that. So we've got all of the cool things that show all the capabilities this car could have, but we don't have them. They dangle them in front of us, but because we're down at the bottom of Africa, we're like, no, you're not going to get those cool things. And just because you don't have a smart key, or what do you call it, yeah, we'll go with smart key. Even though you don't have one of those, we're going to show you where it can live when you use it, because we've got a little slot down in the center console where you can put it, push button start and go. But we don't have that here, so we've got a nice little holder for a key where we don't even have a key to put in it because the key's in the ignition. Okay, all of that out the way. Now let's talk about the powertrain. And here you've got a 1.4 litre turbocharged petrol engine mated to an 8-speed Steptronic transmission. And this is where this car really shines for me. I've got nothing negative to say about how the car drives, how it feels. It's very responsive when it needs to be. It's very comfortable. The gear changes are really, really good. You never really feel like you're in an incorrect gear or waiting for the car to do something. You put your foot down, it decides where it wants to go, and it goes without hesitation. And yeah, it feels really nice. It drives really nicely. It's responsive, and it's just a very comfortable, nice car to have. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not really, really fast. You've got 110 kilowatts and 250 Newton meters. So I think you've got a fair amount of power for what you need here. It's not all-wheel drive, so you don't have Audi's Quattro. You've got two-wheel drive, all being driven from the front wheels, and that's kind of where this car shines, is just kind of where it drives and how it drives, which isn't a bad thing. But in 2024, a car needs to offer a lot more than just that at 740,000 Rand. Looking at the rest of the car, you've got a really nicely laid out cabin. So again, it's very plain and simple. This is your entry level into the SUV family within Audi. So it's not going to, what I feel, it's not going to be extremely fancy at any point. So you've got nice soft touch materials on the dash and at the top of the doors. But then once you start going further down, it gets very scratchy plastic just on the side of the door here, going down the center console. Although it looks like it's got nice padded material, it doesn't really. So yeah, otherwise you've got some nice textured metal looking trim here on the dash with some Audi branding, is kind of reminding you that you are driving an Audi, a premium car, because you paid a premium price. But anyway, you've got some air vents that rotate and they look like DJ decks when you spin them. So this is quite a bit of fun, and I tend to play with these a lot in traffic. Yeah, it's quite addictive. But anyway, you've got dual zone climate control down here. Again, that's a nice touch to have in a car like this, and I think expected at the price point. We've already spoken about the digital cockpit that you get in front here, which you can also change the views so you can show more information and then dial down the size of your revs and your speed. And you click it again to change the view and they get bigger and some of the information goes away. So you've got some play that you can use here, toggle between different things that you can see. So it's quite a nice cockpit to be in. Like I've said, not very fancy, but I think that it gets the job done. You've got your light switches on the end here, so you do have automatic lights and automatic wipers and everything again that you should get at a car at this price. You've got cup holders. You do not have any wireless charging in this car, and another weird thing for a car of this price point is that there's no USB-C for the people in the front. You've got one old school type A USB drive right in the front. You've got another one here in the little armrest, but no USB type C for a new car coming out in 2024. Well, I say a new car, but a little facelift and trim update. But I think that's a bit of a miss, and they should definitely have had USB type C in here. Going down, you've got your automatic gear shifter, and then you've got all of the buttons and dials to operate your infotainment, because you can't simply just touch it to do what you want. You have to now go down here, turn it, make sure you're on the right thing. And when trying to use this thing through CarPlay, that's not the funnest thing in the world. Trust me, you never really are where you want to be. But anyway, some blank buttons, because you're spending that sort of money on blank buttons. I don't know what else to say there. The seats are comfortable. They are not electronic at all, so they're all manually operated. But you do have electronic lumbar support, so the functionality is there, but they didn't give you all of it. The entire interior is leatherette, so it's not full leather, it's not real leather. But again, like in the Chinese brands, it feels nice, and anyone getting into a car like this won't even know the difference. Looking into the back seats, there's not a lot of legroom back there, even though this is a small SUV. But in my driving position, I don't sit too far back, but it's a very, very tight squeeze for me back there. And yeah, it's not legroom that I'm used to getting in a car of this size. Going into the boot, it says what you would expect for a boot of this car's nature. Again, it's not massive, but it gets the job done. And if it's just taking kids to school and all of that, you have enough space for their cricket bags, your school stuff, groceries, and everything in between. And then looking at the design of the Audi Q2, it's never been a car that's really resonated with me. I've never really liked the design of it, but it looks cute, people like it. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about the design. This is it. It looks nice, it looks tidy, it looks modern, but you then tend to kind of lose some of those elements when you get into the car. So it does tend to trap you from the outside until you get in here. So it feels like we're getting catfished a little bit. But as usual, Audi does outdo themselves when it comes to lighting. So the lights look really cool. The LED daytime running lights really stand out, and it really gives this car a unique look. And that carries through to the rear as well, where you've also got those LED rear tail lights that really stand out at night. The front headlights do also have the matrix LED technology, so you've got all the light that you need to brighten up the road in the evenings for your own safety. But then looking at the overall VW group, you can see that they're kind of trying to get rid of the Q2. They're singling it out, they're not making it look good, and they're really making their T-Roc and Tiggo and all of those other cars really stand out ahead of this, because those are compelling as offers and vehicles, but this isn't. So I don't really see the days of the Audi Q2 lasting much longer. So if you really do love it, now might be the time to get it. But otherwise, we might have to say goodbye to the Q2 soon, because I don't see a lot of people buying this at this price point with not that much value. And then from a fuel consumption point of view, that's actually not too bad. It's not the most fuel efficient engine out there. But once you're on the highway, you can look at numbers around 6 liters per 100 Ks. That's what I was able to get. And maybe just a little bit higher than that. But once you start getting into an urban environment with combined types of driving, that's definitely going to increase, and you're going to be sitting in the 7.5 to 8s, which isn't too bad. I mean, that's in Chinese car territory, with similar engines and similar power outputs. So I don't think that it's too bad. But again, it's not doing this car any favors for its price point and attractability. Now, if you really love this Audi Q2 or just want to find any other Audi, then go check one out on changecars.co.za. They're a website that sells new and used cars, but the best thing about them is that they vet and check every single dealership that sells cars on their website. So they know who they are and they know what they're selling. So they're always in control of the quality of the cars that they're selling on their website, which guarantees quality vehicles for you as the buyer. Change Cars website is also a hub for everything automotive. So you can go and watch car reviews, you can read articles, you can even do financial things like going to see what you can afford per month with their finance calculator. And if you find a quote for a car that's not on Change Cars or not through a dealership on Change Cars, you can bring them that quote, and not only will they match it, but they'll beat it too. So if you're looking for good quality cars with great service, then go check out changecars.co.za, and also a proud partner of Greg Dennis Reviews. And then onto the verdict in the form of the GDR test. Should you get it, should you drive it, or should you remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? Now, it doesn't happen often, but I'm going to give this one a remove. I don't think that this car offers enough to warrant a price tag of 740,000 Rand. I'm sitting in a similar position to the Honda CR-V, which sells for R1 million, and you don't get a lot from that. But yeah, I don't think that you really get enough in this car to warrant the price tag. I think you can look elsewhere to find a lot more value, and that value is going to sit within the Chinese. So go check out some of the Chinese cars. I mean, you can literally look at any of them for the price tag of what you're going to get under this, for more power, more technology, more comfort, and everything in between. So thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the Audi Q2. And if you did, please will you drop a like below. And if you want to see more car reviews like this and other car related content, then please will you subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. So this is Greg from the future. He's done the review. He's checked in with his wife about the car. She doesn't always give me an opinion on how she thinks about it, but he has a new segment called "This is what Greg's wife thinks about the Audi Q2." And she slightly disagrees with me. She loves the design of it. I think she thinks that it's the perfect car for a lady. The other good thing about them is that they are not prone or targeted for hijacking, so you'll feel a lot more safer in an Audi or something like this as opposed to anything from VW. Yes, it's part of the same group, but Audi, VW are more prone to hijackings and crime and things like that. So it's important to take that into account when looking for a car. And maybe that's one of the reasons you're going to look into getting a Q2. She thinks that this is the perfect car for the single ladies in their 40s, just looking for something that's safe and comfortable, high off the ground, looks really nice. It's a perfect car to throw their girlfriends in, go for drives, take it to work, put the dogs in, go to the park on the weekends. So there you go. You've seen what I've said, and now you've heard what Greg's wife thinks. That's the Audi Q2.